and happy Monday. Happy Monday, y'all. Marana Oral Valley Experience coming at you. Hope you guys had a good weekend. I'm going to speak right to you first, David. Good weekend, wasn't it?
It was. Caught some Wildcat football this weekend.
Yeah.
Saw them stomp on the Baylor Bears. Yeah. And the weather was great.
Caught a little video that got a little viral action.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw someone else did a similar one too, and theirs is like really, really got a lot of views. They probably posted before, but theirs said like moths to a bright light. And it's just all these students going up to the thing.
That's true, although probably bright light is not the best analogy. Moths sounds pretty good. Bright light sounds like there's some thought process involved here. This is like the opposite of that.
Well, according to somebody on TikTok, they put a comment with the picture claiming they were the ones that started it. So I guess there was a plan. So I don't know if you heard, but I guess a team in Oklahoma, the fans did the same thing. Yeah, and someone also wrote that in the comments. Yeah, you guys are just copying Oklahoma. So I don't know if there was an original.
The Sooners.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if there was an original idea or not on that one, but
I'm sorry to all my Oklahoma friends. We've got a special guest this morning.
Hey.
Glad you're here.
Good to be here.
Ed Eddington.
Yep.
How's that? Desert Road Tax. You got a little
disclaimer here.
Yeah,
he's got to read a little disclaimer here, guys.
Yeah, because I'm a financial advisor also, in addition to my tax, I got to read these disclosures. So securities offered through Cetera Wealth Services, LLC, member FINRA SIPC, investment advisory services offered through Cetera Investment Advisors. Cetera is under separate ownership from any other named entity. The views and opinions presented here are those of Edward Eddington, that's me, and not of Cetera Wealth Services, LLC, or its subsidiaries. There we go.
I'm pretty sure
there we go. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you. That makes somebody happy.
That is the absolute first time in all the years we've been doing this that I've had someone read a disclosure. Hey, I'm going to offer you all kinds of opinions. I'm reading no disclosure. Take it at your own risk, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's all about the disclosures with
Absolutely.
them, letting you know that they are no part of whatever I say.
Yeah.
Clear. Yeah.
They just want to make that clear.
We should just do that all the
Then
time.
I need to read a disclosure from my wife.
Yeah.
From my wife.
Well, we had a hot mic this morning in the studio, and it was me, and we were in Chris, and we were talking about the whole crazy thing about sex work and all that. How it's just a crazy thing for people to be considering income, and that it's becoming legit
and taxable and all that.
I was like, well, should have had that on.
Yeah. We'll get to that in a moment.
Yeah.
The IRS really doesn't care where your income comes from as long as you pay your taxes on it.
We have a philosophy around here, the same thing. Do you care where your money comes from, David, as long as it's legal?
Yes, as long as it's legal.
As long as it's illegal, we don't care what revenue stream we're tapping into.
But we're starting to blur that line of legal, really with moral, right? Like it's really just
not us.
Oh, I'm talking about the country just in general,
with
what we're gonna say. What we're gonna say is legal work, right?
Yeah.
So now you got to kind of be careful.
Yeah.
Because I think you're getting
Well,
into something.
they have a lot of stuff out there. Actually, oddly, the IRS actually has rules for how to report your illegal income and what's deductible with it and what's not.
That's why
they have a whole specific set of that.
That's
stuff.
why Al Capone went to prison. They couldn't get him on.
They couldn't get him on all the
racketeering.
It was tax evasion.
He avoided paying taxes on his ill-gotten gains.
Exactly. They could see he had the income that he wasn't reporting, and the IRS is the one who got him, not all the other things.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you.
You can do a lot of things, but if you don't give the government their share, it's
well, look at gambling.
Yeah,
that's legal, I guess, basically everywhere in the United States now, some form of it. Right?
Yeah, well, whether it's sports betting, I mean, they're building a big casino right here and right off the interstate, right in town. It's not going to be on the reservation like the old ones.
Right there on Grant.
Yeah. Drive by and see it under construction all the time.
Well, you can gamble on your phone. You can gamble on your computer. You can gamble at every convenience store.
Right?
Grocery stores, liquor stores.
Lived in Vegas for couple of years ago, and that was one thing there is everywhere you go. I mean, every gas station, you go into the grocery store, and they all have a little bank of slot machines, and it's always the same little old lady up there every week that's got her Social Security check and losing it up there on the slot machines.
Oh,
We had a fun weekend, didn't we?
yeah. What'd you do?
Not much.
You're like, I'm good with that.
Not much.
Watch the Bears win
watch
again?
The Bears win.
That's
Yeah,
becoming
not
routine, huh?
much. Yeah. What are they? 6 out of their 7.
They're hitting that
Yeah.
on fire streak you want to see
Yeah.
right before the what do you got, postseason.
What'd you do? I know you went to the game, spent time with your kids. We went to a 90th birthday party last night, which is
That's a
which
few
is
years
very
up
cool.
there.
Yeah. She rode up in the back of an old pickup truck that was it's well
nice.
maintained, but she rode up and got the cheers from the family. And then my wife, it was her birthday weekend, so we had to get out of there and go celebrate her. She's not anywhere near 90, by the way.
She doesn't want you disclosing that one either. Otherwise, we won't see you
Tread
much.
lightly.
Yeah, yeah.
We won't see you long after this.
Let's just put it this way. She and I have been together she was in her mid-20s when I've told you the story, right?
Yeah, you're telling me some about how you met with
that we met in a bar.
Mhm.
And she was drinking, I was drinking. She hasn't drank since then. And I haven't drank since then, really.
Is that where she said that drinking makes her do bad decisions?
Yeah. So we'll be somewhere like we were last night. Somebody offers her a drink. She's like, "Are you kidding me?" The last time I was drinking, I hooked up with this guy, and I can't get rid of him. True story.
What'd you do this weekend,
I
Ed?
was just getting ready to ask you.
Yeah, it was family weekend and honeydew list and all that stuff. Our kids, I got 2 kids in ice skating. Unfortunately, Tucson doesn't have an ice skating rink, so we had to run them up to a little bit north there, waiting for that ice skating rink to get finished here. But yeah, we got up bright and early Saturday and got to go up there.
Is there an ice skating rink near Peoria, the sports complex? Isn't there one in that area?
I don't know about
Seemed
that.
like
There's
they
a few
built
of them.
one.
There's one kind of up by IKEA. There's one over in
Okay.
Gilbert. There's one in Scottsdale, and then ASU has one too. The Mullet Arena, as they call it.
That's a growing sport, isn't it? The ice skating, hockey, even here in the
The
desert.
hockey seems to be the big one there. The figure skating. They both do figure skating, both my kids, but the
Hockey is
hockey is
definitely on
it
the
seems
rise,
like
isn't
the
it?
bigger thing actually when we're there. It's constant of all ages. I even see older people,
Do
amateurs,
you
just there.
ice skate?
No.
Have you ever ice skated?
I've done it a few times. I'm not a small person, and they generally don't even have skates that I can get because for size
Gotta have
reasons,
your own personal
I'd have to bring my own
That's funny.
because they don't have them that I can even rent or do. there.
You ice skate, David?
No, I was a big rollerblader back in the day.
Yeah.
They used to have a really cool complex here in Tucson.
I can't do either.
No?
No,
Oh.
surprisingly, because I thought I could. You ever rollerblade?
Yeah, I did have a pair of rollerblades. I got them when I lived in Minnesota for a while. And the ice skating and all that was big up there, but I never really got too into it.
So, I'm fairly athletic, fairly agile on my feet, and my wife and kids used to rollerblade all the time around the neighborhood, and she was really good. The kids were really good, and so she bought me a pair and brought them home one day, and I'm like this is how foolish I was at that time. I thought I could just get up and start skating. I really did. I thought I'll just stand up. I'm pretty agile. Take me a second, and I'll just skate around the neighborhood. And I did a big time the splits immediately. Like
I was going to say, did you do like one of those, like the cartoons
the
where your feet are
cartoon
kicking out?
splits immediately. Hurt, painful, hamstrings, the whole works. And I decided right then that was it. I mean, that was my career. Cammy encouraged me to stop immediately, by the way.
I think my worst one like that was actually I had my rollerblades there, and I was skating into my garage to finish up, and somebody had closed the garage door just a little bit. And with my height and the extra height from those, I'm skating in. Next thing I know, hit my helmet, but just knocked me flat on my back with some speed coming in.
Funny.
Man, if there was a video of that one, it probably would have looked hilarious. But we didn't have everybody with the cell phone.
Well, just telling it sounds hilarious, Ed.
You can picture me.
I can see that
flying up as I hit my head on there.
Hey, end of year. I want to jump into taxes.
Okay.
Straight to it.
Straight to
right into the taxes.
Well, we're coming up on the last 45 days or so of the year, probably less than that now, 35 days, I guess. What day is 24th? So
Yeah.
37 days, 5 weeks.
Yeah.
What should we be doing? Anything special we should be doing it's almost too late, but
It's some of the stuff it's too late for. Some of it you can still get in. Charity, getting your donations. I'm a big one for the Arizona tax credits. If you're not familiar with those, generally I send people to aztaxcreditfunds.com is a good resource for that. Getting those in, it's dollar for dollar. If you owe Arizona taxes, not even if you owe them at tax time, if you've already paid them, you can get that money back. So I always encourage people to do those. They're probably going to spend it better than the Arizona Department of Revenue.
Yep.
So that's a big one. If you're a business owner, looking at end-of-year purchases, with the bonus depreciation coming back, being able to write off 100% of stuff. If you've got a piece of equipment you need to buy, if you buy it in December versus in February, you get the deduction a year earlier.
yeah.
So I don't encourage people to just say go out and buy a truck to save money on taxes or something. But if you're going to buy it anyway, and your choice is between here or there, you might as well buy it sooner. Make sure all your stuff is in order. The sooner you can get things in, clean up all your books, all those kind of things.
Some of your customers that won't call them out.
The ones that
some of your clients that wait till August.
Coming in. I had somebody come in this year like 2 days before tax deadline, brand new client, and wanting to get their stuff done and wondering why they couldn't get in and get it done before the tax deadline.
When does it crank up for you? Probably the first part of the year, doesn't it? For the ones that want to be, ahead of the game.
So January is kind of a little slow. Starting the 15th, we start having people starting to look at the stuff. But most people don't even get their documents till the end of January. And we can't even e-file until usually the last week of January. I don't know the date offhand this year. Yeah. But they actually shut down the whole e-file system. This year, I think it's going all the way till December 26th. Normally, it's late November, but this year it's a little later, maybe because that whole process got delayed a little bit. I don't know. But there's a time frame there where we can't do e-filing, then that opens up for everybody in January.
Those non-for-profits. Now, I'm going to mention one for sure, and that is two for sure, and that is Marana Food Bank. Write the checks if you're able to, and
especially this time of year, they
can really use it because they're feeding a lot of people, especially this time of year. Don't ignore them during the summer months. People are still hungry at that time of the year. And then the African American Museum of Southern Arizona, our good friends Bob and Beverly Elliott over there.
And I got one more for you.
Yeah, and
88 Crime.
88 Crime.
So it's an anonymous tip line, and it's been around since 1987. I'm on the board of directors, and big cases get closed from that here, and we just expanded into Cochise County and Santa Cruz County.
So are they on the tax credit thing for that?
It's a 501c3. I mean,
so a regular charity.
Yeah, regular charity. If you're looking for something to do good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will say one thing I've seen lately is there are some changes coming with the deductibility of charitable donations. Mm-hmm. But with the high standard deduction, a lot of people aren't actually getting any benefit from their charity donations each year because you're already getting a $30,000 standard deduction.
Yikes!
If you only give $20,000, even the standard deduction is more, so you're taking that anyway. One thing I do encourage people, if they have the means and a regular pattern of giving, is there's a thing called a donor advised fund. Have you ever heard of those? Mm-mm. So that is basically you set up your own mini charity, and then you direct where it goes out. So what you do is you take 3 to 5 years of your donations you're going to give anyway, you put it all in 1 year, get that deduction. So instead of 20,000 and you're never hitting that limit, you might put 60,000 or 100,000 in. All in 1 year, you get a big charity deduction that year. And then for the next few years, you're paying all your charity stuff out of that account.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going out. And then once that runs out, then you do it again. And you're just taking the standard deduction in those other years, kind of maximizing your tax benefit for those things.
We got to
Yeah.
we got to look at that.
Well, I'm going to wink at the corporate sponsors, you know. We could get in there. Because, the $30,000, well, most people aren't going to sign up to give to those, to our charities, unless they're over 30 grand, and that's going to be hard to pull from somebody just regular.
Yeah, you have, it's like people have their regular, whether it's your church stuff or whatever, all of those organizations. It does, out of there, generally have to go to a specific organization.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, you're getting the more tax benefit from it than you do when you're just doing it regular.
I need to get baseball tickets on that charity thing. I spent a lot of money on baseball tickets this year.
Not quite sure if that one is.
And I'm going to spend a lot more this year, too.
They do a good job with making it a marketing component, though. At least Arizona is.
Yeah,
I see what they're doing, and I'm like...
It's not non-for-profit.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about that next year as well. We're gonna max that out. We love going to baseball games, and we love taking our friends and family and business clients with us. I'll just say it out loud.
Yeah, they've changed the rules on some of those things of recent years of how to deduct that for business.
Quite a bit, actually, haven't they? Over the last, about 3 years ago, they had a big...
It was 2017,
Okay,
the bill from back then when they made entertainment not deductible.
Mm-hmm.
Food is still deductible, and gifts are still deductible up to certain limits, but the gift limit is pretty low.
Yeah.
But that's, I think, some of the... where people just used to bundle it all as one expense. Now they broke it out and they said, okay, you're booking this booth here at the game, and the portion of that that's attributable to food, we're looking at that separate from the actual ticket cost.
Tickets.
So there's things like that. I'm one too, people that do stuff, sponsorships and things. I look at that. People traditionally a lot of times would put that on as charity, where really, to me, if you're doing a sponsorship, you're getting your name plastered across on a banner.
Mm-hmm.
That's more marketing instead of how you classify, because most businesses, unless you're like a C Corp or something, you can't deduct the charity yourself. It just flows through to personal.
Speaking of charity, and I'm just going to say it, be a generous giver if you can. If you're capable of doing it. Be generous, be happy, because we all give a little. We're blessed to be able to do that, and you know this for a fact, Ed. When you're giving, you feel better than the person or organization receiving. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
So if there's part of that whole, and I'm going to get biblical a little bit about the spiritual part of this. It says right in there to do it. By the way, it's 10% for the churches. It says to do it, and my goal in life is to make people or help assist people come into the position of being able to be more generous, because I'm telling you, when you can, there's just something that goes along with being.
I'm a big one with generosity. Starts small too. Getting in that habit of, if you can't give $10 off of 100, you're not going to give 1,000 off of 10,000. Getting in that habit of that 10% it's always the same percentage.
Exactly.
And so really, like for us, training the kids when they're young, you got your $5 or $10 allowance or whatever you got for the week. You got $10. Hey, you give $1.
Yeah. 100%. And if you just can't even do that, your time's valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Donate your time. I was going to follow that up with the Marana Food Bank and some of the things that we're involved in. Donate your time. When you're buying groceries at canned goods the next time, buy some non-perishable buy some canned goods or something and take, and it doesn't have to be $100 or $1,000 or $10,000. It can be $10 or your time.
Yeah.
If you go out and volunteer, what's time worth today? Your time's more valuable than mine, but
it depends on what you're doing.
I put a premium on mine as I get older.
Yeah, and it's like God's given you all these skills and abilities, and can you use those to further good stuff out there too?
Matter of fact, we're valuing our time so much. David's figuring out a way that if my phone rings, I can
send an invoice.
I can send an invoice.
It's behind a paywall. It's an app.
Have the app automatically.
It's like, do you want to continue? Put your credit card number.
I've actually suggested that to my wife. She does a lot of free counseling. I'm like, hey, good to hear from you. Hang on, I'm going to send you a payable invoice. And
we've all dealt with those time suckers. They don't stop, and you're like, all right, well, I guess I got to tell you, hey, just can't.
So heads up, guys, we're going to start charging for our phone calls.
I'm glad you brought up the volunteering. I think that's something that gets overlooked all the time, that you can go and volunteer. And I personally feel like that experience is worth more than a lot of other things.
Especially when you've got small children. We used to do it a lot. You obviously have, just based on when our kids, especially when they were small, we found opportunities for them to go where they literally could serve someone. They literally, there's a transactional portion.
Yeah, we've taken ours to feed the homeless, and they were helping in the food line, serving, and when they were little, just something as simple as handing out plates or whatever.
Yeah.
Your little 5 and 6 years old can still be there helping out and see that get that mentality of helping others and volunteering, and not everything being just about you and everybody taking care of you and everything. And a lot of kids these days don't get that opportunity, and they spend all their time playing video games or whatever else.
I'm sure you had those conversations on the way home or when you got home that we did, was like, wow. The kids were, especially those 5 and 6 year olds that are so impressionable when they're doing something good, for the first time for someone that doesn't involve a self-interest. And it was like, Dad or Mom, and did you see? And that was so cool. And I was able to, clean a table, and they were so appreciative. That is, you're good parenting when you're doing that. That's just the reality of it.
And ours really enjoyed it, actually.
Oh, they loved it. They still do.
Yeah, they enjoy getting out, volunteering. I mean, I had my son here at the one thing with Boy Scouts. He loves to this weekend. Actually, yesterday he was out. They had a thing. They went to a nursing home and were playing games with the residents there and everything.
He earned a special badge here recently. What was that badge?
The congressman, man.
Yeah, with Congressman Swikert.
So, well, he's working on a badge. So with Boy Scouts, it's called Citizenship in the Nation. So one of the things for that merit badge is you have to write a letter to a congressman.
Better yet, go shake his hand in person.
That was pretty cool.
And part of what you're supposed to report on there is you're supposed to write that letter, take it back to the counselor, and if you get a response, take that with it. So instead of just writing and mailing off the letter when we had the opportunity, we
that was very cool.
Showed up here and he got to hand the letter to him himself.
That's very cool. I would be remiss, and David, you're going to know where I'm going to go here. Here's a great opportunity to serve. And it's the 3rd of February, I believe, and it runs that whole week. I'm maybe
about feed my starving children.
Feed my starving children. Oral Valley Church of the Nazarene. I'm gonna look up the date. I think it's the 3rd. I could be wrong about that. Let's see, February. I think it's actually February 2nd. I know a couple dudes.
Yeah, I know a couple dudes. That's their birthday.
So that's their birthday.
Okay, yeah.
February 2nd through, let's see, the 1st would be the 8th. It'll be the 7th. Oral Valley Church of the Nazarene, Feed My Starving Children. You can reach out to Pastor Dave Hillis, anyone at the office over there at Oral Valley Church of the Nazarene. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, David, we packed... As a church last year, we packed.
It's in so many millions.
Over 1.5 million meals.
Yeah,
And that will be dispersed globally.
That's a lot of meals.
That's a lot of meals. And the meals, if I'm not mistaken, feed, I think, 4 to 6 people per actual meal.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Matter of fact, I'm going to ask you to join us. We haven't got a date yet. There's a couple ways to do it. There's a volunteer as an individual or as a small group. There's also a volunteer as a large group. I think it's 20 for a large group. And then there's also ways to donate money because the church actually buys all the meals that we pack. And I forget, it's $200,000 or $300,000.
Yeah.
Give or take. But there's something to do after the holidays. It's
Well, I know a lot of those places do see a huge drop in January and probably into February too. Of the giving. Everybody gets their giving done, and then they think they're good for a little while.
Yeah. And that's why I mentioned earlier, don't just support the food banks at the holidays. We need it. We need turkeys and we need money and but it's people are hungry in the summertime. The one cool thing about Marana Food Bank, and I want to add this to it, it's the Marana Food Bank and Resource Center, and I'm proud to be one of the founding members of this new food bank in Marana. And we do we offer as a institution, we offer a lot of training, a lot of other things besides food. Although we all agree that if you're hungry, we need to start there.
It's hard to do a lot of other things if you're hungry.
And I'm going to give one more shout out to R&Z Barbers over here. Zach, they're going to do a free haircut through the food bank December 9th.
Nice.
December 9th. And so Carlos and Luisel and Sophia will be providing vouchers for people through the Marana Food Bank. There'll be more on that coming soon.
So here's a question for you on the food bank. You work there a lot. Would they rather get the canned donations or just the money donations?
Honestly, for me, it's either. The canned donations mean someone doesn't have to go get it.
Yeah.
But the cash can buy could buy perishable items like eggs or turkeys and stuff like that. So
yeah, a lot of times I look at it, and I know I've heard some food banks sorting through all the food and the random stuff they get. It takes a lot of work versus
it does.
If they get the cash donations, they can buy targeted things of what they need a little more too. So depending on what you're comfortable with there.
I'll say this about, we have an incredible group of volunteers. I mean, just amazing how many volunteers. I don't know the number. It's a staggering big number. So they're there sorting it. But I also do know sometimes we get stuff that unfortunately doesn't end up going to anybody because it
might be expired or just doesn't get dispersed out or whatever.
And they're really cool about again, I'm bragging on Carlos and Sophia and Luisel and all the volunteers over there. It's amazing the stuff. David's been out there a lot. We got a group that packs birthday kits, cakes, candles, etc. You wouldn't think about that, but and how to be able to make these without maybe always having all the ingredients that you would expect that you and I would have, which is amazing.
Actually, at one point, I worked for a company that we actually did a monthly birthday thing for the homeless shelter, and they would give us all the kids in there, and we would buy a cake for them, and they would give us some ideas of things they wanted, and we'd actually go down and throw a birthday party for those kids, and for a lot of them, they weren't getting anything else. Right. That was all they were getting, and because they were living in the homeless shelter as a family.
We've got that, again, back to OVC, and I'm sure there's on the tree, I'm sure, and there are thousands. I'm sure they're all gone. They probably got wiped out. A lot of times we have 3 services on Sunday. The third service doesn't get the opportunity
you better show up if you actually want to get
early if you want to be able to help. But again, back to that, and it's, a 12-year-old girl or an 8-year-old boy, and here's kind of what they'd like. We packed 1,500, 2,800, I don't remember the number, Wednesday, boxes to send little gifts that would in their shoebox with all kinds of little gifts. Again, to kids that aren't going to have anything for Christmas.
Yeah.
Back to the giving. I encourage you, back to what David said. We're all going to agree on this, right?
Yeah.
We encourage you to go find places to volunteer.
One thing I think of a lot with that, so a lot of the impetus, the biblical support for that comes from the story of the Good Samaritan. As I like to reference that story sometime, Jesus didn't say, give your money to Caesar so Caesar can start a program and go save this person. When you look at it, the person got involved. He went and he took his own money.
Yeah.
He took care of the man himself. He volunteered to do that. He took him along with him. And then he paid for it out of his pocket.
Yeah.
There was none of this, let's give it to Caesar so Caesar can set up this program to help people. And the volunteering is that rather than trying to do it the other way, getting involved is that's really what he said. When he said, go and do that likewise.
Help your neighbor.
It's you get out, you help, take money out of your pocket, and whether it's the physical help or the money, either one, the Samaritan in that example was doing both.
I love that story. I've used that analogy. I'm going to add to my take. First off, someone asked me one time, can you have too much or make too much money or earn too much money? And I'm like, no, as long as there are people in need and you're the steward of that money, it's not your money anyway. Never seen a trailer hitch on a hearse, have you? That's just the way it works. So that's part of it. You need to earn enough money to be able to do that. Number two, he not only paid for the services, but he said, and if there's more to come, I'll be back around and I'll pay you.
We'll settle up when I come back.
When I come back. And here's the other cool thing. I was born at Good Samaritan Hospital in Mount Vernon, Illinois. Wonder how many hospitals are named Good Samaritan after that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A lot. So he did the right thing, like you say, cut out all the middlemen and took care of someone in need. Go ahead, David.
So I want to bring it down a little bit, right? Because I feel like there's a pretty good sized group that can do what we're talking about, right? We have the blessings and the ability to give and do these things with our money, right? And the reason I'm piggybacking off of Chris's show this morning, and remember I was telling you the 14% number with the groceries. So he did an analysis on air, and 14% was about the average that everything is up compared to last year as far as inflation. And he's just talking about the Thanksgiving meal and all that. And I often have people come and ask me questions about financial stuff, especially because the wife, her knowledge trickles down to me, and we take, we've taken care of a lot of our debt and taken steps to make sure that we have some wealth and to be able to do things. As you're moving up, and I guess I would say for the next year, right? Because I think a lot of people have made their decisions, right, coming into this year. And let's put the giving and all that aside. How do these folks, what can they do in their preparation, especially tax-wise and income-wise, to have a couple more bucks in their pocket at the end of the year instead of going, hey, I'm really looking for that tax return to come in, right? Because I often have conversations with folks and they don't really understand how they can do their paperwork for their W-2 and different things to make sure that more stays with them during the year.
Yeah, so that would be there's two different types of people, I would say, in that. So there's some people that you talk about their withholding.
Yes.
If you're getting a refund and you're in that scenario where you're having the withholding, you're getting some of that back, that just means that you sent the government more money than you needed to, and they're sending it back.
You don't get an award for that, right?
I've been saying that for 60 years.
You gave them an interest-free loan for that period of time.
And I'm so glad you brought that up, because that's really what I wanted to talk about was that.
Yeah, it's because what you're doing when they're withholding it from your paycheck, you're just giving it an estimate of what you think you might owe. And if you're overpaying, some people like to get that because that's kind of their saving strategy, and then they use that. So
that's the worst
that is
strategy.
That is not a
zero interest.
And some of it's just a discipline thing. Now, and I say that the reason I said there's two scenarios because you have another group of people that are getting money back. I always put back in quotes because
Thank you, Tony.
I don't really call it back if you didn't put it in the first place. It's not so the reason they call it a refund is they're refunding you the money that you already paid in. Mm-hmm. But there's some people who are getting money that they never paid in the first place.
Right.
So whether that's child tax credits, earned income credits, those kind of things, those there's not a lot they can do because you don't get that money till you file your tax return.
Yeah.
Don't withhold anything. So like my kids when they were little and they were working as teenagers, I always told them to withhold zero because you're not going to owe anything. You're not working enough to actually owe anything. Don't withhold unless you're really making more than the standard deduction. But yeah, the other people, it's like make sure check your withholdings, look at your income, make sure that's set right. Mm-hmm. If you're owing it each year or if you're getting a big refund, they've redone those tables recently, and to the point where I've actually seen people literally get a $1 refund or owe $1.
That's the goal, right?
Yeah,
that's like closest to zero.
In the past couple of years, I've seen that where that was how close they were on their withholdings out of their paycheck.
It's awesome.
Now, it gets a little harder if you have a husband and wife both working or if you have multiple jobs. But if you have one job throughout the year, your withholding should be pretty accurate.
Yeah, yeah. And they have you can choose your withholding, but you can also have an additional taken out. Like if you're expecting to do a lot of OT or different things, you can have an additional.
So with overtime, they should be calculating that in on that portion. But if you have some kind of other taxable, something you know you're going to owe tax on, or let's say you have investments or something along that line that there's no withholding over there.
Yeah.
You can adjust that. And a lot of employers, a lot of times what I encourage people to do, if you give that throughout, you can bump up your withholding through the whole year. Mm-hmm. The other thing, if you've got the money to manage it, I tell people, I'm like, if you're doing estimated payments throughout the year, you're supposed to pay those on time, April, June, September, January. But out of your paycheck, it doesn't matter. So just do all your withholding in December.
Right.
I've had people do that too, where it's like, do less withholding throughout the year, but plan on not getting a check in December and withhold the heck out of your paycheck. You can withhold 100% of your paycheck basically. And those last few paychecks, most employers will let you adjust it multiple times a year.
You know what? It's crazy how many people I've talked to do not understand that. No. Like at the basic level of, there was like, I got a huge return. I'm like, Clint, I know Clint's sweating. You could have put that in us. You could have put that in a different.
Like I can't talk to you. I'm sorry.
You could have taken that money and put it in a savings account.
Savings or IRA.
I'm going to jump in, and because I think there's another answer here.
Yes.
And this is something you and I were talking about. I think the last time we talked at length. And that is, you do a lot of public speaking about finances and stuff. What's the number one thing people want to hear about?
So when I go out,
which is crazy, by the way,
I can't
because he's getting ready to validate what you're saying.
Yeah.
So I go out and I offer it sometimes as a free service to businesses. I'll come in and just do a seminar for your employees. The number one thing these businesses want is basic budgeting. That's what people want, and the look on people's faces, and it's like I'm blowing their mind with what basic budgeting.
David,
and David's over here.
Show me, Tony. David's done.
Kind of validates
done.
everything.
I'm
like
out of here.
Dave Ramsey's out there saying it's the basics of it. I forget the numbers, but it's over 50% of the population lives paycheck to paycheck.
It's bigger than that.
I want to. I was going to say it's closer to 70. Yeah. I don't know the exact number.
Because here's a number that has never changed. Go ahead.
So going back to what we're saying, we're talking about giving and all that stuff. 30, probably I would say 30-40% of the ones in working and doing stuff right now are able to do that. Mm-hmm. Like just on the level, especially with the inflation and everything right now. That's why
That's a high number.
Okay.
That's a high percentage.
Yeah.
Paycheck to paycheck.
You saying you don't believe the 3% that the government tells you?
Here's what I do know for a fact. And this is a fact.
Yeah.
90% of Americans have no clue about finance.
I don't know.
No real clue at all.
Because
I was talking about who was giving.
Yeah, well,
30 to 40% of the population.
So about 10% are really given.
He thinks, yeah.
You know what? I know this is again something that I had no clue
love
about.
getting him fired up like this.
I had no clue about this. Do you know that in American churches today, 20% of congregations tithe? Wow, 20%. This is a core tenet in all religious affiliations, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you tithe. That's how it says it right in the book. 20% of Americans tithe at their church.
So if we started teaching budgeting better in the schools, right? That's a whole nother.
See, that's where we're missing.
Why is Dave Ramsey making so much money on teaching basic?
And I don't agree. I agree with him at the core.
Yeah.
But I think Dave misses quite a bit too. Would you agree with that?
I agree.
the
There's
debt realm he
some
does.
minor points I disagree with him on, but on the majority,
on the big picture.
And the other thing I say about him too is that 70% that we're talking about that's living paycheck to paycheck and is up to their eyeballs in debt. That's who he's out there for.
Right.
The other thing is like, you look at those people and it's not about really what you make. Because I've seen people in my business that I see people that make $200,000 that are paycheck to paycheck,
Millions.
and tons of debt, and
At pro athletes
versus people that are making $60,000 a year, saving a ton of money, debt free, and it's all about the paying attention. And those people are giving, they're doing all the stuff they're supposed to, and it comes back to the budgeting. A lot of people look at budgeting as very restrictive. Oh, I'm having to restrict myself on this.
I can't do that.
And, I look at it as it's not that. One, you're being a steward of your money, which we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
But it's not about restricting yourself. It's about knowing where your money goes and being intentional. Yeah. And when you sit down and you say, okay, you went to Starbucks, 3 times a week, every week this month, and each time you spent $10. So how much did you spend? And when you look at that and you say, okay, so that's $30 a week times 4, that's $120 a month. And when I teach it, I say there's nothing inherently wrong with that.
No.
But when you look at that $120, is that where you wanted to spend it? And when people they look at those, they forget to look at those small things, and they do add up a lot, like in that scenario there.
Yeah, you can get some tires, man. You're gonna need tires at some point. Those are a perfect example.
I'm gonna give a little. We're coming. That was pretty quick, wasn't it? We're winding down. I'm gonna give a little sneak programming update at Live the Dream Media. Something we've all been talking about. Something we did prior. We did I think we'll name it the same thing. Financial Literacy 1.0 is going to be coming back to the Live the Dream Media Network in January. Don't have an exact date. Ed's going to be around a lot. David's going to be around a lot. We're going to talk about
more Ed.
Because here's the thing. The reality of it is we get on our soapbox and we talk about our kids and educating our kids, and primarily that's who we're educating. Because if you're my age and you haven't got it, good luck.
Yeah.
If you're your age, and I know you're quite a bit younger than me,
a couple years,
and you haven't got it, you got a little more time. If you're his age. And good luck, because you need to start these habits and develop and culture these habits right now. Cultivate these habits in your 20s. If you do these things in your 20s, chances are pretty good when you get to my age, you're going to be in good shape.
One thing I say a lot of times too, and this is why I do it for the businesses, and if there are businesses out there that want us to come in and do something, they can reach out. But right now, there's not a great financial education out there. Most financial education is taught in the home. And if you come from a home that doesn't have a great background in that, that's where you're learning your skills from. And so most of those kids are never getting taught that. So that's why businesses bring us in, because the people have never been taught that. And they know that if their employees can get their finances in order, they'll be healthier, they'll be more likely to
more
stay.
Productive, less stress. There will be the home life's going to be better. Because my mom, I'm going to say it out loud. You mentioned the word sex, so I can say it again, but it's in a totally different light. My mom said married couples only argue about 2 things: money and sex. I would add kids come into that play a little bit.
Yeah.
Money, sex, or kids. That's all married couples fight about for the most part, right?
Yeah.
99%. So if you can take care of your money, the other I can't help you with. You're on your own there with parenting and sex.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tony. But you get where I'm coming from. That's a big problem for a lot of people. Let me ask you a question. I don't know the answer to this. And you've got a degree in finance or...
Yeah, I've got a master's in financial planning and an MBA in accounting.
And I've got my background's financial, but who'd you learn from?
Some I learned at home from my parents. I've actually worked on investments with my mother since my dad passed away as an adult. But a lot of it was having to go out and do the research myself too. I learned the basics of it at home growing up, though.
Me too. My parents were that couple that you talked about that never made a lot and ended up with a bunch. Mm-hmm. And my mom made more as she got older. She had figured this out, and you snowball this thing. Compound interest is one of the coolest things ever created.
If
right?
it's working for you.
If it's working for you.
Yeah.
If it's working against you, it's the worst thing that could ever possibly happen financially. Yeah. I saw in Carnegie's handwriting, I've been to Carnegie Hall, looking at that statement about it's the eighth wonder of the world.
Most powerful force out there.
Yeah.
And if it's working for you, if you can make it work that way, it can be a great thing.
Help me out here. So a penny a day doubled for a month is what? 10 is it in the 31 days? Isn't it like $10 million?
Yeah, it's something like that. I forget how many millions it is, but
it goes from 5 to 10 on the 30th day to the 31st day. Do your math and you verify it, but it's doubling every day.
Rest in peace to the penny, by the way.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
R.I.P. Yeah, stop making that one. And, sometimes they say, it costs so much to produce the penny.
Well,
but
I think it was 4 cents.
But at the same time, that penny's not spent just once either. It stays in circulation. We have them in circulation that are, 20, 30 years old.
But we talk a whole bunch about faith family schools here. That's another thing that we're bringing back. Education is so important. Having kids learn how to read is so important. But kids can read better than they can do math. You hear that. Well, math's just so hard. Well, the math that you do is difficult.
Not necessarily. Actually, that's a common misconception in accounting that most of it is basic, like addition, subtraction.
I get it, but you know what I'm saying? It's daunting.
Yeah, it can be daunting.
But math itself, and this is someone that's good at math, it's not really that hard. Because it's consistent. It's never going to change.
Yeah, it's not like the English language that, you can have the same word that is, depending on the context, can be pronounced
three or four different ways to spell all that, 3 or 4 different meanings. Right. That's the beauty. That's why I think I loved math.
I saw one the other day. It says the English language is funny because read and lead rhyme, but when you see it written out, read and the lead don't rhyme, and red and lead don't rhyme because it's all they're all spelled the same, but they're all pronounced different.
Yeah. And
all kinds of weird things with the English language. Then there's all kinds of rules, but math is actually very simple as far as that goes.
And the formulas never change.
But I will say, too, when you're talking about that education and the finance stuff, a lot of teachers in our schools don't understand that either, and that's a common...
How many times have I said that, David? You know why we're not teaching... Basic math is fairly easy. Grade school math's fairly easy to teach, I would think. Yeah. Anybody can kind of teach that. But finances and stuff, you know why we don't teach it? Because the people teaching it don't understand it.
No. Most of them don't understand the investing world and
not a clue.
Getting out there doing those kind of things. And there's a few people that understand that stuff that do sacrifice and go into teaching and stuff. Yeah. But most of the people who really understand it are out there doing it.
That's what my grandmother used to always say. People that that are smart and understand finance in the real world, they start businesses and make lots of money, and the rest get into politics or bureaucracy. And she passed away in 1969. You think she wasn't ahead of her game?
It's just all that stuff has gotten worse since then.
1,000 times. You mentioned earlier, and we're gonna have to wind this down, but again, to me, it's not how much you make; it's just how much you spend.
That's how much you keep.
And how much, and that's
do.
where it starts with budgets.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the Sammarano family. We don't. We've been together so long. We already know, and kind of my job is to kind of not put governors on my wife or put brakes on her, but she knows she kind of has a budget she works with, and she does a really good job. And I make kind of the financial decisions because that's my job. She pays the bills, and I make sure there's enough there to pay it. But when we don't talk, I know you guys talk about it like once a month. You and your wife sit down every few weeks and talk about finances.
You have an
and
active
budgets
budget. We know everything
and
going on now.
ours is not the same. It was when we were younger. Now we can do it without the paper and the conversations.
We
but
just got to keep track of the diapers, and the wipes.
That's expensive.
Hey, dude,
Thankfully, I'm out of that phase.
No, hey, that's cheap compared to what it's going to be coming up. Come on.
Wait till they get to be teenagers.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
can't
whole other
wait.
stuff.
Yeah,
But-
you're getting off way cheap on diapers. Trust me. I know it seems like a lot right now, but
I will say that's where I see a lot of misconceptions out there is, people that say, oh, money's not important to me. And I'm like, well, why are you going to work every day for it? You're spending 8 hours every day working for something that's not important to you.
I got a line
And-
for that. People would say money's not important. I believe they'd lie about other things too.
Come on.
Money's
And-
important to everybody. It just is.
It is, and the other one I see on there is people say money's the root of all evil, and it's like no, it's not. It's the love of money.
There you go.
And
Thank you.
If that is more important to you than other things,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's kind of like going back to the Bible when Jesus told the one guy to go sell everything you have and follow me. That the problem is that money was more important to him than following Jesus. He wanted affirmation that what he was doing good things, and Jesus was like, hey, you've done great stuff, give up all that and show that I'm important to you. And it, as long as money is the one that has the hold on your heart, then
It's that simple.
but you do need it to be able to do good things and stuff out there
I
too.
talk about money quite a bit to people. I talk about education quite a bit. I talk about reading, and I've had more than one person. So, Clint, there's more important things in life than money, and I'm like, well, I can name about 50 things that are more important in life than money, honestly. But money is important.
But money makes it happen too.
Somebody's got to pay the bills.
Yeah. Yeah. You're tithing at the church. They need money to make
Yeah.
things happen there.
You used the word earlier, and it's true. Look, we came in with nothing. We're going to go out with nothing. I'll repeat it. No trailer hitches on hearse. That's just the way it works.
No, yeah.
There's no U-Haul following you to your burial. There's just not happening. But we are stewards from the moment we get here till the time we're gone.
Yeah.
And if you want to live a happy life, learn to take care of your money. It's just, and you don't, and you know what? Most people are not going to ever really have a ton of money. That's just the reality. Newsflash, the average person just throughout history has never had a ton. But you can live a comfortable life on some, right? As long as you have more coming in than you have going out.
That's basic math.
It's basic math.
You got to have more income than you have expenses.
And you know what? Here's the thing, and I'm going to leave. It's all this free money.
There's no free money.
It's all this free money, and it started a long time ago. The bankers figured it out. That's why we're in the shape we're in. Well, this wife is sitting at home. It started in World War II. She's sitting at home. We're living in smaller houses. We're buying on property. I'm going to get down a rabbit hole here, so I'm going to stop. But the reality of it is this was all orchestrated.
I look at it a lot of times, too, when you talk about the bankers. It's amazing how much the price of things rise to the available financing.
Exactly.
So I saw something coming out the other day about the Department of Education restricting what you can use some of the professional student loans on and pulling back on some of the nursing that was meant for like doctors and lawyers. And people complain about that. But it was amazing. Once they opened up those programs to that, suddenly when you could get $100,000 in loans for those programs, suddenly the program cost $100,000 instead of $30,000.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and that's with credit cards.
Yeah.
I'm old enough to remember, we've had this conversation a lot recently. No credit. No one had a credit card.
Mm-hmm.
And the only people that had a credit card were businessmen that traveled, traveling businessmen, traveling salesmen, and they had a diners club. I don't know if diners
They're still
card-
kind of out there.
I don't know if
think,
they're
but
even
it's-
out there or not. No, I'm talking 60s into
Yeah.
the 70s. I remember, and
When you had the American Express travelers
we
checks
had
and
that,
those kind
and
of things.
exactly. And when you got them, the interest rates were you paid off.
Well, originally it wasn't a credit card. Do you know what it was before?
it was basically
what they called it before then?
what did they call it?
Charge card.
Charge card.
You know what the difference is between a charge and a credit card?
Yeah, charge you got to pay it off, Dad.
You pay it off every
Yeah,
month.
yeah.
That was what the original was.
Yeah.
And then they figured
And
out
now
they
we're
could
at 20+%.
at
Come
25,
on.
30%.
Come on.
Yeah, it's crazy
Come
on there.
on. There you go. Hey, so what you got planned for Thanksgiving?
Me? We're gonna go up to Gilbert, Queen Creek, stay up there for a little bit,
Yeah.
and then come back here and hang out. We've got some more family that's gonna come stop by the house.
Beautiful.
What about you?
I got a turkey at the house. We're going to go with my sister, small little group.
Nice.
Used to be big groups. Now I'm really glad as I get older, it's small groups. Thank you very much.
Watch
Thank
the
you,
football.
Tony.
The Bears playing on Thanksgiving?
They're
or no?
playing Black Friday.
Black
They're
Friday.
And the Eagles on Friday.
Oh, that's a winnable
This
game,
is the
baby.
first time in like forever, Ed, that I'm really watching the Bears because they're
They're good.
winning. They're winning.
They're good.
And they had the
They're
time
kicking
back
it.
when I was a kid with the fridge and all that.
Oh
stuff,
yeah,
but,
yeah. When they hey,
85.
we're still living in 1985, 86. Come on, baby.
Yeah.
40 years ago. What are you doing?
We're going over to my uncle's house. Got a bunch of family getting together. We're bringing the turkey. We're smoking a couple of them for it. So
Nice.
Did your family get along? I don't mean to be personal. Everybody get
some
along
of
pretty
them,
good?
for the most part.
For the most part. The ones that don't sit at the kids' table?
Some of them might not be. I say we got 35 people coming. That's a small gathering for my
Yeah.
family because both sides of my family have lots of kids. So
We don't have a large family, but we know a lot of people. And we used to invite them all. And now it's like, sorry, guys. I'm the one to put the kibosh on them big groups.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that went by fast. It's
It did.
fun. Gives you something to look forward to. Taking the weekend off.
Yeah, we're gonna be shut down Thursday,
Thursday,
Friday,
Friday,
Saturday,
Saturday,
Sunday.
Sunday.
Unless
Looking forward
I don't know if Bob's coming or not.
He
He's
is
not.
not.
Okay, so we're shut down
is
all the
not.
way through. Everybody's
Yeah.
gonna go hang out with their family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't look for any shows.
Yeah.
We're not gonna live stream anything.
Yeah.
You just listen to music or watch reruns.
Yeah. Coming up in a couple of minutes is Blair and Summers. Then Chris is back tomorrow with Wake Up. Ron Arenas will be in with Southwest Flavor. Chris again on Wednesday. Bruce Ash and Ebb on
Inside Track.
a 9 o'clock Inside Track. Then at 10, the midweek mix.
Yep. Got some radio
At
coming
11,
in.
the Cosmic Country with Clint. We got some radio going. Then we'll be out. It'll be
Out
dark.
of town, baby.
Be dark.
lights will be off. And
Well, thanks for coming today, Ed. Man, we
Yeah.
appreciate you.
It's a pleasure.
I got to read this.
He's
at
gonna
the
read it one more
exit.
time.
Yep. Just in case people forgot about this.
Yeah.
Securities offered through Cetera Wealth Services, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Cetera Investment Advisors LLC. Cetera is under separate ownership from any other named entity. The views and opinions presented are those of Edward Eddington and not of Cetera Wealth Services or its subsidiaries. There we go. And
Thank
we're
you.
good.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. There,
applause.
standing applause.
Applause for that.
I'm seeing parts of the Christmas tree, the wake up Christmas tree on it. Hey, where you going, David?
Oh, I'm out. I thought we were going.
We're going.
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
Tony, great job as usual. What are you doing? What are you doing, Tony? No, Mike.
Like what am I doing for
Thanksgiving? Yeah.
It's just me, my grandma, and my two uncles. So it's a small gathering for
Okay.
both of us.
Small gatherings are.
We're gonna
Yeah.
work on that. We're
are
gonna
very
work on
small
that.
gathering.
I know where there's a bigger gathering. We're gonna figure this out. Hey, Tony, thank you, buddy. Ed, thank
Of
you.
course.
David, what can I say?
Yeah.
Love doing what
Another
we're
day,
doing.
another dollar.
Yeah. Hey guys, thanks again for watching. Tune in. Happy Thanksgiving. And one thing,